Tense exchange there on Capitol Hill with the Denver Mayor Mike Johnston over a Tren de Aragua gang member who ICE says assaulted officers after being released from a Denver jail. Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan was the man asking those questions, and he joins us now. What did you make of the answers you were getting, sir? Welcome.
Well, here's the simple fact. Just do the common sense thing. You got a gang member who's been arrested, charged with stealing a car, assaulting someone. He was in your custody for 345 days. You have a detainer with an administrative warrant sent to you by ICE saying simply, hey, when you're going to release this guy, give us a heads up, give us enough notice where we can come there and apprehend him while he's still in jail. And they said, no, we're going to give you an hour notice. This is what they did. They release him to the streets. It's stamped on the document by their jail, by their sheriff's office, released to the streets. And then ICE has to arrest him in the parking lot or on the streets. And an officer gets hurt in the process or gets assaulted in the process. Makes no sense. Oh, by the way, the form where they stamp or release him to the streets, the Denver law enforcement, on that form, it also says this guy was violent towards staff. So they knew this guy was, they had the arrest record, but they also had seen it firsthand. He was violent to the staff at the jail. For goodness sake, just let ICE come in and arrest him. But no, they're so committed to this ridiculous left-wing sanctuary city policy, they release him out in the street, and we had what happened with the officer getting assaulted.
And they seem to have trouble during the hearing justifying the reasons why they do what they do. And they seem to do it quite often. Listen to this exchange between Nancy Mace and the four mayors.
Do you believe it's acceptable for illegals who commit heinous crimes be released back into the public instead of being detained and deported? Mayor Adams, yes or no?
Anyone break a crime?
Yes or no? This is not hard. Yes or no?
Anyone that break a crime should be detained.
Okay, Mayor. Yes or no?
They should be deported.
Okay, Mayor.
Any individual that
yes
causes harm and breaks the law should be held accountable.
This is why you have 6% approval rating, because you suck at answering questions.
I mean, she has a way of getting under their skin, but they do have a difficult time explaining why they're doing what they're doing and how they could potentially be doing it differently.
Yeah, I mean, just do the common sense thing. You got a bad guy. ISIS says we know he's here illegally. They'd apprehended him 2 years ago. Biden administration released him into the country. He's a bad guy, done bad things. You held him in custody for almost a year. And then when you're going to release him, just give notice and plenty of time so ICE can come there and actually apprehend and arrest him inside the jail. No one gets hurt. In fact, think about the immigrant. Think about the migrant. You're jeopardizing his safety. You're jeopardizing the safety of your community, the safety of the agents who come to arrest him, the ICE agents, and the safety of the migrant. Why not do it? But here's the problem with the Democrat Party today. Sarah Huckabee Sanders said it best. She said the divide in America today is normal versus crazy. The left has embraced every stupid, crazy policy there is. We don't need a border. Men can compete against women in sports. We're not going to work with ICE. We're going to go put them out in the street. You got to go arrest them there. All these policies are just crazy. Just do common, like President Trump said. We're now the party of common sense. Let's get some common sense with these mayors so that we can keep people safer.
This was an emotional moment in testimony earlier with Rep. Clay Higgins, the rep from Louisiana. Listen.
The policies of these mayors and our previous president have consequences, real-life consequences. I have a family here today, Mr. Chairman, who lost their beautiful loved one. This young man was killed by an illegal immigrant in Texas that never should have been in our country. You mayors have responsibility, not just to your communities and the citizens you want to serve, but by extension to the entire republic.
But still, they just seem to be pressing on with their ideologies and policies and turning a blind eye to stories like that.
Yeah, the American people see through it all. The American people understand. Look, I've had the opportunity to talk to Laken Riley's family. We all know what happened there. We had Ms. Nungary come testify in front of our committee in the last Congress. This stuff is real. It has real-life consequences for families who are in our great country. And it's just wrong to have this lax attitude that we see from these mayors with this sanctuary city policy. And the president's right when he talks about federal grant dollars, federal funding, going to these, if you're going to continue to do this kind of thing, release someone to the streets who you know is bad, who actually was violent against your staff, and you have that arrest record, and you kept him in jail for almost a year, and they're just going to release him on the streets, you probably shouldn't be getting any federal tax money, for goodness sake. That's what the president said. And I think, again, that's just good common sense.
All right. Well, we'll see the way it goes in the future, but it doesn't look like anything's going to change. Congressman, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.